What's up? Happy Wednesday, Sooner Nation. Welcome to the Sooner Surge podcast that tells it like it is. It's cold in Oklahoma. There hasn't been a lot of news today. Everyone's on the edge of their seat waiting to see what's going to happen with the OU-DC search. It's not cold where the Thunder are playing, Jay, in OKC, because SGA is on fire with 54 points, and they're going to beat the Utah Jazz. But welcome, everybody.
What's going on, man? Wednesday night, freezing cold. I'm so ready for spring. It is ice cold where I'm at. So I'm ready for spring to hit. Another day, just waiting. Appreciate the intro stuff.
Hunter,
comments on that.
Yep, Hunter got after it, got the intro for us like you guys asked for, correction specifically. And what that means is this: we listen to our viewers. That's what it means. Good suggestion, guys.
Yeah, good suggestion. Appreciate it.
Ron, I'll go ahead and start. I'll go ahead and start. Listen, no, he's not sliding away. Here's why. Look, Knowles apparently was the one that reached out, Jay. We know this, right? So the sliding away is, in my opinion, the wrong term, because if he doesn't go to OU, it's not going to be sliding away. He's just going to leave. It's not going to be lost the grip on him. But I do think, like we said the other day, Jay, this needs to happen. Like, this needs to happen very bad for the University of Oklahoma.
Two things for me. One, it doesn't need to happen as far as, like, I think the defense is going to be good either way. Now, if you're talking about the perception of all this, yes, I see what you're saying. If you're talking about the perception, because the perception is that he reached out to Oklahoma. Usually you don't do that unless you're wanting to go there.
Yeah. And
right?
SGA's mid-range Jedi is unbelievable. Hey, I'm going to say this, Jay, about the Jim Knowles stuff, because, again, what changes the entire thing is he apparently reached out. So if you are not able to me, it's almost like you go try to get someone from a big-time program like Ohio State, or he comes knocking at your door and basically lands in your lap, is the terminology you've used, Jay. And then you're not able to get him. To me, it's almost like you're desperate. To me, you put everything in this, Jay. You put everything you had in this.
Have they, though? That's what I mean. I don't know. I don't know all the details.
Sounds like it, Jay. Sounds like it.
I don't know the details of where this has been. Here's what I know to be true. Okay. What I know to be true is, in any job, if you're the guy that reaches out to somewhere else, you're interested. Correct? You don't reach out if you're not interested.
Two things it shows, Jay. It shows, one, you're not really totally happy where you're at. Agree?
Or you're wanting to move closer to family, or you're interested in that position.
Which means you're not totally happy where you're at.
Okay.
So to me, if he then says no after reaching out, I agree with Ron Brown. It would fall on OU's issues.
And here's where it would be: is if he ends up staying at Ohio State, it would be that either he didn't think it was going to work out at Oklahoma, or he didn't like the fit at Oklahoma, or whatever you might want to say, something would have deterred it from him going to Oklahoma. And it could be the fact that, hey, you know what? I don't know if this is the best move for me. And whatever it is, I'm just saying there's something that's there, because if he reached out first, then he wants to be there. He wants to be in this area.
There's only one way that this isn't OU's fault. One way. You ready for it?
Sure.
The only possible way this wouldn't be OU dropping the ball, fumbling the ball, not able to land, close the deal, is if Jim Knowles comes out and says, I never actually wanted to go to OU. I only used it to make a whole lot more money where I'm at. And I don't think that's the case. But that'd be the only explanation.
We'll see. I mean, I would think we've been waiting on this for a while, it seems like. We'll see what happens. I don't act like I know everything that's going on in this situation. I'm just calling it as I see as a fan from what I'm hearing. That's all. So
what's the name of the call? what's the name of the college? I believe it starts with a K, but Kenyon. Hey, he's a senior though at that college. I believe her older son is a senior at that college. Yeah, Kenyon College. I think he's a senior. Correct.
Yeah, and
he's not going to be there next year. He's not going to be there next year.
Let me get a Chuck's thing. He says, Jay, even if he wants to come, things still need to line up. Okay.
What are those things? Hey, what are those things, Chuck?
Is your name Jay or is your name Germ?
Well, I go by Jay sometimes. So.
Well, your name's Germ, and Chuck specifically, the first word I read on that says Jay.
Cool.
Correct me if I'm wrong. I don't see a germ in this comment. So let me answer what Chuck's asking for me. Jay, even if he wants to come, things still need to line up. You're right. But that's kind of what I said earlier, Chuck. If he's wanting to go to OU, he could not go to OU and say, yeah, it's just not the fit. Things don't line up. I that's what I'm saying, Chuck. But at the same time, that would be that, you know what? He's not happy with something that he doesn't think is going to work out at Oklahoma as far as things lining up. That's all I'm saying. I don't know what that would be. I don't know what that would be, Chuck.
Hey, I do know this. Yeah, the things that need to line up. I'm curious what are those things? The other thing is Stason Stegall, thanks for joining us, says maybe it's been in the works for a while, might be why Allie bugged out. Now, I thought of that earlier today when I was driving. I sat there and thought, you know what? The whole Zach Allie thing. Was this something that was mentioned? I find that difficult to believe, although I'm not going to say it's not a possibility. I just find it hard that it would have all been kept under wraps.
Yeah, I think the Allie thing happened first, and that would be my guess on that. So, hey, thanks, Ron. Appreciate it. I believe it is. I want to say, got a couple of different ones. I want to say American Eagle, maybe, but somewhere around here local. Yes, thank you, Ron. Germ, what world are you living in? Which
fantasy
world?
I'm in a fantasy world, Jay.
Are you?
Apparently.
Maybe you are, Germ. Hey, I just want this thing to be done. I'm just ready for an answer either way. I think that's where I'm at. Sooner fan says, if it's true that it was Knowles who reached out to OU, is it really going to be his defense? And who knows about any of that? I don't know. I would listen, if Jim Knowles is going to go to Oklahoma, you would absolutely have to be silly to not think it would be his defense. So surely, to goodness, they're going to let the guy do what he's done.
Not going to go to OU if it's not his defense. And that corrections 101. Thanks to the advice last night. We take what our viewers say seriously here at the Sooner Surge, and appreciate that. And kudos to Hunter for building it very quickly and getting it ready to go for us.
There's the daily Joe John Finley comment. Had to get it in there. I was watching OU Insider. They said, yes, he reached out and it's 70%.
I thought I heard 50 to 70% from them, but
I don't know. I haven't seen it. So I haven't watched it. So I don't know where they're at.
Aaron, I agree. There are bigger fish to fry than whether or not Jim Knowles goes to OU. However, that's one of the biggest fish. Now, there's other big.
Go ahead.
What do you mean? What do you mean, okay?
I understand there's bigger fish to fry. I'm not saying there's not.
Okay. And I don't know. I don't want to spend time on all this tonight because it is controversial. I have not followed the story enough, but I do know this. I do not think that they should be playing basketball.
What is that even about?
I'm just two basketball players. Two basketball players who are wearing ankle bracelets allowed to play.
I don't know.
To me, it has to do with expectations and standards. Yeah, you can go look at the story. To me, they absolutely should not be playing, but it's not on me, so I don't really want to get into that.
What I was going to say was you were talking about there's a lot of other things you need to worry about. Offensive line, you go down the list. And I think that's true because I think defensively, whether or not Brent Venables is guy calling or Jim Knowles, I think the defense is going to be – I mean, what are you looking at? How many spots in the rankings defensively wise can Knowles get you compared to BV? I
Not
mean,
about that, in my opinion.
That's what I'm saying. It's more about what that opens up for Brent Venables and I think what this will show you if you get Jim Knowles is, can Brent Venables be a good head coach? This would show you that, wouldn't it? Because you'd have two good coordinators, and you wouldn't have anywhere. I mean, you'd have to just at that point, it's on Brent Venables to lead the University of Oklahoma football team to win games. That's what I want to see. Honestly, I want to see that. I want to see him as a true head coach. That's what I want to see.
Yeah, offense is the main concern. No one's going to disagree. Charles asked, when will the Mateer jersey go on sale on Sooner Shop? Hunter might know the answer to that. I don't know. Is it also true OU gave $3.5 million to transfer to gave him?
I don't think it was that high.
That's not the number I heard. Now, I don't know if you add in everything, but I've got to respond to Chuck just because I have to. I'm not going to take my voice higher and higher. I don't really care if people care. But I do like how you've been coming at me lately. Good job. I appreciate it. It's not really, I'm not changing who I am because of it. I can promise you that.
Hey, thanks, Aaron. Hey, what's up, Johnny boy? How you doing tonight? Hunter says they will update that stuff in the spring, summer, Charles. Do you think
yes,
Jim
he's going to coach linebackers?
I would agree.
Linebackers.
I would think linebackers too. And yeah, I would too see him too. Yeah, Ron Brown.
Now there is a way he doesn't coach linebackers. But if someone were to leave and they had to jostle some people around, possibly.
Isn't there still talk about Wes Goodwin?
I think that's as an analyst, but who knows? There's going to be a lot of talk about Wes Goodwin if they don't land Knowles.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
That's not true. I don't think that's true.
I don't know, Jeremy. I don't claim to know.
Yeah, I'm not going to claim to know that either. I'm just saying based on what unofficial 40 said, there has been no contract. Hey, Chuck, I don't do hearsay. I don't do hearsay. I do me say. Okay, me say.
Hearsay and me say.
I do me say. I don't do hearsay.
Okay, and Michael says I think the structure would be the same as he has at Ohio State. Skowski would coach linebackers. But wouldn't they be over the coaching limit unless you're saying he's coaching them as an analyst?
He's coaching linebackers at Ohio State, I thought. He's not coaching safeties. He's not coaching safeties there. And they have a limit on how many coaches they can have.
That's what I'm saying. That would put him over the limit unless you had Skowski coaching him as an analyst. Laurinaitis coaches linebackers, is what Michael says.
But I think he was just.
I don't know. Yeah, I'd have to look at their.
I could be wrong. I do know Matt G coached safety, so he wasn't coaching safeties. He wasn't coaching D-line.
Michael's saying Laurinaitis was coaching as an analyst, coaching linebackers.
That's what I thought, as an assistant type guy.
That would be the same. And Michael's saying that would be the same thing with Skowski, he would think. And I could see that if that's what they want to do.
KB says Goodwin, Cody, C with BV. My opinion, Allie left because I agree with your second half. Allie left because BV wouldn't relinquish power. To me, and I changed my tune on this from about 3 weeks ago. Originally, I said, okay, I'd be okay with BV calling the defense. I'm not okay with it anymore. You got to get Knowles. You have to get Jim Knowles.
Why? Because of the narrative or what?
One, narrative. Two, BV can't do that and be the guy. Like, he just can't be.
Keith's out there in Alabama where they're getting snow. I saw Florida had 10 inches of snow, one part of Florida. Unbelievable stuff happening. Stay warm, Keith. Stay warm.
So, Hunter, what is Jim Knowles coaching at Ohio State? Nothing, just DC? That would be the question.
That is DC only.
But OU cannot do that, Jay.
Why?
I think they'd be over the limit unless they lose a guy. I may be wrong, Jay. I have to count it up.
Yeah, I'd have to count it up too. Augusta, Georgia, Sooner Cowboy says got 3.5. That's crazy. Masters in 2 months, and they got 3.5 inches of snow.
Exactly, Sergeant. BB's a terrible game manager. I know analysts, it's changed by analysts. They cannot be labeled a coach, is what I'm saying. It was James Laurinaitis, an analyst or a coach.
He was a coach.
Then that counts as your limit, Jay.
What's up, Eric? How you doing? Eric says, "How is Lincoln Riley able to?" I think guys have done it. I think it's tough to win a championship that way. Now, I think guys have done it, and Eric, it's proven to work with a guy like Lincoln Riley. You could say Steve Sarkisian. I'm not going to disagree. I also think. I wonder if Lincoln Riley. I mean, right now, Lincoln Riley's offense last year was probably the worst it's been. But I wonder.
Sark's been the best example. Sark's been the best example. And I'll say this.
Lincoln Riley's first few years at Oklahoma, he was the best there was. So it's been done. I think that the thing is this, Eric. I think it's more of, I don't think Brent Venables is ready to do that. That's, I think, where I'm at. I don't think
he's already proven he can't do it.
That's what I'm saying. I'd like to see, we've seen Brent Venables basically involved with the defense for 3 years, and it's gotten better and better and better. That's great. But he can't be the DC. He's got to be a head coach, because 3 years they've had 2 losing seasons. I'd like to see him not involved in the defense and just see what happens, because he's going to be there. He's going to be there next year.
But
so
I also think
might as well see it not as a DC and see what it looks like. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, Jay, what changed since last night? You're kind of not feeling it tonight.
Wait, what are you talking about?
Keith said it.
Said what?
What changed since last night? So much options about Jim Knowles, Jay. You felt the decision would be made by Thursday. Now you're kind of backtracking, he says.
How am I backtracking? What
I don't know. I'm asking you. Keith said, what changed, Jay?
What do you mean, what changed?
I don't know. He asked the question, not me.
I feel like I'm saying pretty much what I said last night. I haven't said anything changed. And wait, Jay. And Hunter, where OU would be over the limit is OU has a D-line coach and an edge coach. So they have Miguel Chavis on the edge coaching and defensive line as Bates. So they can't follow the same structure as Ohio State did. And I see Eric's comment. I don't want BV managing the team and acting as CEO. He's already failed at that. Here's what I'll say. And here's the reason I'm saying I think the Knowles thing would be better is we have seen BV as that for 3 years, but I also think he's been diddling a lot in the defense. I'm saying after 3 years, it hasn't worked, Eric. It hasn't worked at all. Why not try it with 2 good coordinators and see how it works? He's going to be there anyway next year. I'd like to see it with 2 good coordinators. Do I think it'll work? I don't know if it will, Eric. I'm not picking them right now. I can't pick that they're going to win 9 games or something. I can't do that right now.
And the fact is, we've said this before. Who was the last head coach to call offense or defense?
Jimbo Fisher.
Most of the time, it's just more difficult.
You can do it. I mean, Lincoln Riley's done offense. But what happened when he had really good offenses usually? What kind of was not good? Defense. Sark's been the best. He's called the offense and he's had good defense, and they've been to back-to-back playoffs. He's the best one right now doing it.
Okay, Mez, look, guys, I know the rule.
No, Mez, there's not a there's still
Jay,
a rule.
let me say it. I know the rule, and Michael, because Jay, this says Germ, not Jay. I'm not even talking about James Skalski.
You can only have
you guys are missing the point. You're missing.
Yeah.
If Skalski coaches linebackers, they call him an analyst. I get it. In my opinion, Jim Knowles is still going to be in charge of that.
Hunter, if you want to jump on and explain it, I mean, it's basically Hunter put it in there. You get 10 actual coaches, not an analyst. Correct. 5 on offense, 5 on defense is how most people do it. OU's already got Jay Valai, Miguel Chavis, Todd Bates, Brandon Hall, and if you put Skalski, that'd be 5. You don't have a DC still. So that'd be 6.
I agree that they could use him, Skalski, as or Wes Goodwin, people have said, as an analyst coaching the linebackers. I get that. They could do that. That's not the same structure, though, as Ohio State, because Ohio State, James Laurinaitis, I believe, was a coach, not an analyst. So.
And Eric, I see your point about arguing with his brothers, but that's, I mean, I don't know if that really has anything to do with, I mean, gosh, I'm trying to think the year that Mike Stoops left or Brent Venables left. Yeah, I don't know if you blame that on him taking a step back. I think it was more other things than that. I mean, yeah, he did as far as his first few years there, but I wouldn't attribute it to that. But I see your point.
Well, the fact of the matter is Sark and Riley have both been in the playoff, but Sark's play calling has killed them twice, Jay, at the end of games in red zones. And maybe it is hard to do both. I mean, I think it is.
Well, you did see Ryan Day decided to change it up and go get Chip Kelly.
He brought Chip Kelly in, and they did better.
It made him look like a better head coach. I mean, and that's true.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, Coney Island is still in Tulsa, Lori. Still in Tulsa.
Now, Mark brings up something. Is it possible that Knowles reached out once Allie left, but he didn't anticipate that Ohio State would go so far in the playoff? So he expected to lose and be out of the playoff earlier and be easier to leave. That's a good point.
I don't see that, though. I mean, at that point, Jay, he could have pulled his name out anytime he wanted.
Hey, Mess, here's the thing. We're not talking about coach or analyst. We're talking about there's a rule of how many coaches, quote, you can have on this team. 10, not counting analysts. I know that analysts can do a lot of things. That's not it. There's a rule, though. That's all we're saying. Hunter, I don't know if you want to explain it. If we're not,
he already did in the chat, Jay. 10 coaches.
What's up, Hunter?
Yeah, so you Mez is sort of right. It's for the most part irrelevant. I think there's still a little bit of restrictions.
How's it irrelevant if you can only have a certain number of coaches?
Well, yeah, there is only 10 coaches, correct. But analysts can do pretty much what coaches can do. I do believe there are some restrictions on dates and stuff like that, and some kind of dumb restrictions at times, but compared to what it used to be, it's changed a lot. But you still want to be, for your 10 coaches, trying to abide by that and not going the route of, oh, this guy's an analyst and all that. Like, because there's still a reason for that title there and all that.
But I think what Jerm was getting at, and Jerm, if I'm wrong, you tell me. I think the point was this, that if you're going to make Skowski a linebacker coach and not an analyst, then you're going to have to get rid of somebody.
If you make Skowski a linebacker coach,
you'd have to drop somebody else an analyst.
Then someone else has to leave.
Yes, correct.
Okay, that's
or
all
become an
saying.
analyst. Now, if Skowski is quote coaching the linebackers as an analyst, then you don't have to do anything. I'm just saying it's not irrelevant. It still has to be follow the rules, is what I'm saying. Correct. I don't know if that makes any sense, Jay.
That makes sense to me. I understand where you're coming from. People saying 50-50 on Knowles. We'll see. We'll see.
I will say this, Jay. If there's no news tomorrow, if there's nothing by Friday night, I just don't see it. At that point, stop dragging the feet and get it done.
Yeah, at this point, I would think unless you just look.
Here's the other thing. You know the movie 12 Angry Men. You know movies where people, hey, get in a room and figure this thing out. I don't think that has to happen here. Like, if he reached out to OU, which people said he did, what is there to hash out? You pay the man.
Wait a second.
You pay the man, you give him the key, and you move on.
Jeremy, there is something to hash out. If he reached out to OU and Brent Venables wasn't expecting it, Brent Venables was like, oh, I was kind of going to go this other direction, but okay, let's try to figure this out.
Aaron, I don't think it's a money issue because I think OU's going to pay $3 million, which is about 6.5, 7 million, probably more than all he got last year in his contract. And he has a payout, I believe. He's got a buyout, guys.
He does have a buyout. I don't know how much it is. And by the way, I don't see Melo in here tonight, but I went and watched what Melo said that the people at Ohio State were saying. I found 2 videos, and neither said what he said they did. So I will say,
of course they didn't. Jack called him out last night. And hey, Kyle, and this is the point I made early, Jay, and you agree with it. And you started it yesterday. If there are details such as staffing, and they're working out staffing issues, and OU doesn't land Jim Knowles, let's call a spade a spade. BV failed. Guys, that's a fact. BV dropped the ball at that point. If it's a staffing thing, then what we're saying is BV's not giving him control that he wants. Figure it out, guys. That's a fact.
Let me give you an example. What if Jim Knowles came in and said, hey, I got a guy I want to bring in at the defensive line coach. Chavis or Bates going to have to go.
Yeah. Hey, how do you disagree with this, Hunter? Get on here.
Do you hear what I'm saying? What would you say to that?
If he said that?
If he said, I want to bring somebody for defensive line, I need Bates to go.
Well, first off, there's no way they're going to do that with Bates. Now,
okay, see what my point? That's my point, Jeremy. You just said BV failure. In that case, it wouldn't be, in your opinion. So which one is it?
Well, it still would be. But, Jay, there would be that's ridiculous, Jay. That's not going to happen.
I'm just bringing that point. And I agree with, hey, Chuck said this earlier. Chuck said it earlier. Eric's saying it now. Listen, the Jim Knowles stuff, the narrative would be great. But I think more drastic things, there are more things that are more important than if you land Knowles or not.
Jay, no one's disagreeing with you on that, or Eric. No one's disagreeing with that. No one is. There are far bigger issues than what's going to happen with OU's defense. However, OU, the defense that they have, the players they have back, who they're going to be playing in the SEC, a lot of brand new quarterbacks, it would be really beneficial for them to have a guy who can scheme better than anyone else, who can confuse other teams more than anyone else. It would help. It's a feather in the cap, if you will.
Yeah, but I think most people in this chat, if we took a poll right now, most people would say O-line they're more important right now than this hire. But Jonathan, first off, hey, one bad thing is
that was bad, Jay.
Well, I was trying to make a point for you, and now people have taken it and basically said he could be. Please do not change words that come out of my mouth. I never said I was making a point for to go against Jeremy's argument. That's all that was. Bates not going anywhere. Nobody said he was. Jeez. Nobody said he's leaving. Come on.
Hey, Chuck, Chuck, I know you're
open up the phone lines.
Yeah, open the phone lines. And Chuck, I'm not sure kind of what the deal is lately. I'm not disagreeing with everything you're saying. So, man, crazy stuff, man.
Michael says, I would bet Bamble tweets before 2 p.m. tomorrow, Knowles to OU. There it is. Michael started this. Knowles to OU, done deal. Jay, you should understand the nature of your chat, folks. Lane, what do you mean should understand the nature of the chat? People can have their own opinions. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that people read that from whatever. I don't.
Lane, you do know, Lane, because you've been on here quite a bit. We're not going to sit here and tell people they can't. I mean, we don't want vulgar talk. We hate personal attacks, and we hate crude and vulgar language. Other than that, give us your takes. I mean, we'll go at them. I'll call something when I don't like it, but I can because so can Jay and so can you guys. It's an opinion.
And there it is, Sooner Cowboy says. Not sure what that means unless we've had some breaking news. I'm not sure. What's up, Sooner? Hey, appreciate it, Michael. Thanks for the kind words. It's a fan show. That's what it is. Lori, what was your y'all are talking about the taco hut. I've never had the taco hut. if I had to pick a taco restaurant to go to, well, I mean, I love me some Torchy's tacos. I don't know if anybody likes Torchy's, but Torchy's to me is great.
Eric, I agree, especially considering this talk has been out for about 3 weeks now. This is not talk that surfaced after the Natty. This talk was well before the national championship, weeks before.
Well, yeah, I mean,
are the phone lines open?
I don't know if we open them up.
Hunter, open the phone lines. We want you to check out the Fan Stop at thefanstop.com and look at their shirt packages. They have a T-shirt, shirt of the month club. They have a long sleeve shirt, T-shirt, hoodie package. Be great this time of year. Great new designs each and every month. They really think about the designs for each month. The St. Patrick's Day was a green OU shirt with the shamrock. It's just great stuff. Use code SURGE, get 10% off your first 3 months. Check them out. Phone lines are open. Here we go. Here we have CM2 says Jay Valai leaves for a bigger role somewhere else. Goodwin gets hired and takes over linebacker, and Jim Knowles takes over secondary. Now,
that's
Jim Knowles is that's what I said earlier, Jay. Unless if someone moves, they're gonna have to jostle that around. Now, if you want to say they're having talks on that because Valai has hinted at that or something like that, okay. But I don't know.
Yeah. There's Chief. What's up, Chief? How you doing tonight? Says if we get Knowles and Arbuckle's half as good as we think he is, we're back on the right track. And the trench work, the offensive line is where it's going to be at next year, in my opinion. For them to have
the O-line.
It's gonna fall.
Well, it's two things. It's the O-line, and it's if BV can figure out the management of games.
That's fair.
That's to me what it is.
Yeah. Yeah, you got to have an O-line to protect Mateer. That's right. There's a lot of things you have to have. You can't just you can have great coordinators, but if you don't have the players to do it, I think they have players. That's the thing. I think the O-line has talent, young talent, very young talent. They don't have a whole lot of experience there that have been great. That would be my worry. But I think guys like Ozida got a lot better.
Hunter, I never said he's going to take over for Brandon Hall. The talk was if Jay Valai left, would he coach some in the secondary? Now, some people have secondary coaches, some have safety coaches and DB coaches, which is what OU has right now. And I agree with that, Hunter. I agree with that, Chuck.
Yeah, and I agree with Chief here. And until next year, I see stuff on the field. And it's probably going to take me a game or two into the SEC before I'm like, okay.
Well, you know anything after Michigan?
Yeah, you'll know probably in the trenches if they hold their own. I think that's what you'll be able to tell more against Michigan is can they hold their own in the trenches.
But Jay, is it going to be a false kind of deal because OU definitely held their own in the trenches against Bama?
Yeah, but that was at the end of the rest of the game. It was at the end of the year. I mean, we'll see, Jeremy.
What does that mean at the end of the year?
We'll see, Jeremy. It's January 21st, whatever today is. I'm not picking anything right now.
Oh, I agree.
Like Taco Casa, I'll try it out, Michael. I'll have to try it out.
What did Mark tell us? I've forgotten. There's been so many people telling me. So I'm curious what this one's about.
Eric says a game or two. I need to see 2 seasons. I disagree with that, Eric, because here's why. With the schedule they have next year, if they were to go out and win 9 or 10 games next year, that would prove me enough to think that Brent Venables
what it would tell you is I would think it would tell you that Mateer is really good in the OC. The scheme
made a big difference. That's what I'm saying. So you got to what it would prove is you got to have really good coordinators under Brent Venables. I mean, you got to. And there's Sooner Cowboy saying, and there it is. I don't know what this is about, Sooner Cowboy. You said it a few times now. I'm not quite sure. There's Matt. You know, you have the spectrum saying 12-0, and then you have the other spectrum like Matt, who says they won't win another game in 40 years. What he said the other day was they won't have another winning season for the next 70 years, or saying they will go winless in conference play. I don't think that'll happen. But moving on. I disagree with this,
quarterback, Ron.
You know, material will be playing. Now, Hawkins probably be – I think ideally if you could redshirt him, like Mateer not get injured, and he's the backup, and give him some reps in games because you can play 4 games. I don't know. I think a learning season would be awesome under Arbuckle. I think it would do anybody a lot of good.
Yeah. A lot of Taco Wednesday talks.
No chain taco place can hold a candle to the hole in the wall place. You have to find or estimate it. Yeah, you're right. And the food trucks, the taco trucks are unbelievable usually. Those are elite.
There's the Rhino dropping in. Hey, Jay, what do you think of Curtis Lofton? Now it sounds like Josh Norman also. I mean, what's your thoughts on all that?
Well, let me just preface it by saying I did not hear the whole interview from Curtis Lofton on the breakdown. So I just heard clips from people. It sounds like, I mean, we all know he played in the NFL. He basically said he's got money put away. Like he doesn't have to work that much. And he was working a lot. He was burning the midnight oil. He was on the phone a lot. And it sounds like he wants to be more with family and kids, but also be in the ministry and do things in the ministry. So I think for him, it's a great deal. Guys, a GM role is not fit for somebody that wants to do it occasionally. There's so much involved with NIL and stuff. Yeah, and Sooner fan, he probably didn't like it that much. And it's a lot of work. Period. That's all it is. I mean,
and not just that, someone else put stuff about, you know, culture and how kids these days are just demanding money. And I will say this, it's going to take, and I think OU realizes this, Randall Stevenson, Josie, a lot of them probably realize you got to get someone who's been around players who are, I mean, even like agents or guys who have kind of directed players in some of that. I think that's what they're going to have to do, period.
Yeah.
And you're right. He wasn't a GM. Like they went and got someone who was close to the program and it didn't work out. And he's okay that it didn't work out.
And sounds like Hunter, I don't know if you can look this up for me. I took a screenshot of it today, but maybe you can find it real quick and drop it in the chat. Jake Rosenberg put out a tweet that I thought was great. And I think it was today, Hunter. It was about hiring people that are friends or family compared to guys that are, I don't remember the exact wording of it. Go check it out, Hunter. If you can see it, you can drop it in the chat. If not, no big deal. But I got to get at Michael's comment. If for some reason you're coming out of Northwest Arkansas for the OU Arkansas game on Saturday night, please go eat at Wright's Barbecue. Can't beat it. Michael's dead on. You can't beat it. I know a lot of Tulsa people might say Burnco. They like Burnco. Wright's is better. Okay. Wright's is really good. Check it out. By the way, Arkansas, I don't know what the final was. They were losing again tonight at home by 12. Their Boogie Flan's out for the year. Their best player, their guard.
OU's got
to go in Saturday night in Fayetteville and win that game. Period.
Hey, what's Jonathan apologizing for? I don't even know.
And
if they were cussing, hey, listen.
Wait, Jonathan. Wait, real quick before I got to respond to John. Jonathan, you do not need to apologize. You didn't. I wasn't specifically talking about you. I was talking about if people read the chat wrong from the outside looking in, saying that we're saying Bates is leaving. Nothing personal. I think we got a caller.
We got Keith.
Keith, what's up, Keith? In Alabama snow.
That's right, man. We had about 1 or 2 inches, and it wasn't enough to cover the ground, but it was pretty. Nothing like what I saw when I lived in Oklahoma years ago or Colorado, but it was still white.
Oh, yeah.
But anyway, the thing about Jim Knowles, I think Oklahoma will be okay if they don't have him, and Brent Venables continues to call defense. But like y'all have said, and like we all know, it's the offensive line. So if they got rid of Bill Beedemo, who would they go after for the offensive line?
I don't know of anybody right now.
Well,
I don't think that's
they're
an
not.
option.
They're not getting rid of Bill Beatenbow.
Well, changes have got to be made on the offensive line. It just continues to struggle year after year.
Has struggled, but I think he's got I think the guys that are coming up that were freshmen last year, and then the guys coming in there freshmen are his most talented 2 recruiting seasons he's had. So I think you got to see what he does with these guys. That's what I would think. I mean, guys like Ozida got better last year.
Keith, if Joe John Finley isn't leaving, how in the world is Bill Beatenbow going anywhere?
Well, I agree. I mean, it's like nobody wants to cut any of the offensive staff. I don't get it.
Well, I mean, Joe John, I think, is the one that I would be saying needs to be gone. I would not touch Bill Beatenbow. I think he's proven he's developed guys. I know lately he hasn't. I mean, well, specifically, the last 2 years haven't been great, but he's still put guys in. I mean, Andrew Rame's in the NFL. I mean, he had other guys. I mean, so he can develop talent. The thing about Bill Beatenbow this year, Keith, is they got to figure out who their 5 guys are early.
Right.
Because the last 2 years it's taken too long to figure it out.
Keith, who's going to get rid of an offensive guy? Ben Arbuckle, 29 years old?
They're not giving him the latitude to make changes.
Yeah, I don't think they are either. I mean, I think, for one, he's so young that was probably part of the understanding.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. As we've all said, changes have to be made on that line and with the position coaches.
Keith, who was the line coach when Lincoln Riley was at OU?
I think it was Bill Beatenbow.
And the tight end coach?
I don't remember.
It was Joe John Finley. And who was the receiver coach then, Jay? Simmons?
Gundy.
I think it was Gundy.
Simmons was deep. It was Gundy. Mm-hmm. So to me, Simmons was. Yeah.
Beamer
Simmons
was there.
Who?
Beamer was there with Joe John, kind of tag team in it.
So they're missing a couple guys, but the scheme, I think if there's a position group that the scheme could help more than anyone, it's probably the O-line, having a good scheme.
Yeah. Well, but if we have a CEO approach and they get Jim Knowles and Bill and Brent Venables can back off and just run the program without drilling into the defense, it'll be a totally different world.
Yeah, they got to be a lot better on offense. Everybody knows that. This has to be if you look at the teams that made it far this year, they had balanced teams. They were good on defense or great, and they were good on offense or great. You can't have one side of the ball just stinking, and that's what they've had. Last year, it was bad offensively. The first year Brent Venables was there, great offense. Defense wasn't up to par. So you got to have both now. And this is the year I would think to do it. Your defense, I would think with who you're returning on defense, whether it's Brent Venables calling defense or Knowles, like you said, Keith, the defense is going to be good. What can the offense do for you this year? That's where it's going to come down to. So,
but going back to Lincoln Riley, he inherited a great thing from Bob Stoops. So he didn't probably have to do a whole heck of a lot with the defense at first, but then the defense started to suffer. So,
yeah, it's got to be better. They got to be better this year. That's all there is to it. But hey, thanks for the call, Keith. Stay warm out there in Alabama.
Thanks a lot.
Jay Boulware. We forgot about Jay Boulware.
Yeah, Lane, have a good night. I saw you were going to bed. Have a good night, Lane. Boulware was handling running backs, I think, with Daniel Brooks is what he's saying.
I do agree that the offense cannot be worse. Statistically, it can't be. There's no way to go worse when you're already the worst.
Can't be. Agree. Can't be. Yeah, so they were ranked 19 last year. Let's just say they get Knowles. If I had to pick, they got Knowles, I would say they might get to number 10 or 11. Fair?
I was going to say at least top 15.
And I saw Sooner Cowboy say this. I want to get back to you. I'm not going to find it. He said, they could have a lot better offense. Could they still not win more than 6 games? Yeah, that could happen. I don't think it would, but it could. Guys, I got to see it against SEC type opponents to say that, wow, they got this thing together. But
Well,
the offense will be better. The defense, I think, will be as good or better than last year. So now I got to go win games, period.
well, here's the question
What
that
is
I think all Sooner fans are waiting to see, because if you take a now, I think Sooner fans are hoping that Mateer is a guy who can make big time plays in big time moments and win you some games. But if you're going to rely on BV for that, I mean, DG did it against Texas, but outside of that, BV in his tenure has not been able to win close games. It's been the monkey they can't get off their back. They can't win close games. They don't know how to win. Now, I hope a guy like Mateer just having a gamer mentality, and then a defense and a guy like Jim Knowles, who is just locked down, a dog, scheme-wise, calling plays, making adjustments. That's the other thing. He is a brilliant coach at making adjustments. We saw it in the national championship game. Notre Dame went right down their throats. They adjusted what they were doing. They looked at how to adjust. They made it better. That's what they've been missing.
Yeah. Bart says, hey, guys, what you doing? I'm not sure.
Jonathan apologized for that again. I'm not sure why.
I'm not either. I don't know what Bart's asking here. Well, we're doing a live show. That's kind of what we're doing. I don't know if you're asking me or somebody else in the chat. Chuck agrees. Hey, there we go. Jerm, you and Chuck, man. Look at this. You and Chuck on the same page. You're agreeing. Wow.
Okay.
Hey, Chief, thanks for the
before.
Thanks for the super.
Chief, thanks for the super. Great seeing you on here. Did we ever find out why Zach left? I'll tell you this. Steve Stutzman himself, you need to check out that one. He called in about the last 10 minutes of the show a week ago. Right?
You totally went.
Do what?
You broke up for the whole time there. I don't know.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you now. So repeat what you said.
Steve Stutzman came on here, and you point blank asked him if BV gave Zach Alley the control. And Steve Stutzman said no. And Jay, maybe you're going to have to tell this story because I'm a robot.
No, you're not a robot anymore. You're fine now. You told it. Hey, if you remember when it happened, I said I thought it was because of relinquishing control to Zach Alley. I think Zach Alley wanted pretty much full control, and I don't know if he was really getting that, it sounds like. Yeah, Zach Alley's gone. Forget about it. He's gone. Bruce Lee impersonations. Boost Mobile. You're good now, Germ. People are saying. So I think you're good now.
Okay.
Come on, Twiggy.
Yeah.
There it is.
Chuck agreed with me, and the whole world is spinning, right? Everything goes haywire when Chuck agrees. Will there be a press? Okay, I don't even want to do this. Someone asked, is there any possible way OU's offense could be worse next year? And I said, no way. And if you would have asked me, is there any way Dallas can hire a worse coach than they had before? I would have said no, and now they throw out Brian Schottenheimer. I'm done. Like, please. America's team does not hire Brian Schottenheimer. Jeez.
Hey, you ready for trivia?
Always ready for trivia, okay?
Ready for trivia?
Hey, before we do, shout out to Jen Kane, Jen from Denton, always on here, also in the Discord as well. Appreciate the super.
Thanks, Jen. Appreciate that. And let's get going with trivia. Before we do, check out the FanStop, www.thefanstop.com. Use code SURGE, 10% off your first 3 months, officially licensed gear. Check them out. Here are the trivia. I've seen Lincoln Riley's name in there quite a bit. I thought, let's go with the Lincoln Riley trivia question. Lincoln Riley's first game at Oklahoma. First game ever at Oklahoma. How many points did they score? That's the trivia. Lincoln Riley's first game at Oklahoma. How many points did OU score? There you go. That's it. And it's not 69, Daniel. Daniel, you like to put that a lot on these. I'm not going to lie.
Corey says he's going crazy. I'm sure he's seeing
Wow.
the group. Yeah.
Wow.
One-
918 is on a heater on trivia because already got it 41. That was fast. 41-3 over Akron. Hey, do you know the Akron nickname, Jer?
Jay, we've had trivia about numbers. We've had trivia about plays. We don't lose. Tricking the Twins, and guess what? It's the Akron Zips.
Correct. You're right. Good job.
Jeez. Drexel, Jay.
What's that?
Drexel. Wow, I stumped you.
It's not the Golden
Nope.
Drexel Dragons.
That's correct.
There it is. I got it. Hey, who do you got this weekend? Philly or Washington? Who do you got in the Super Bowl?
I got Washington versus the Bills.
You're taking the Bills over the Chiefs.
If Josh Allen doesn't get it done, you might as well name him Jim Kelly.
Oh, come on.
He can't win it, Jay.
He has like no Pro Bowlers on his team with him. He's the only guy.
They got some dudes.
There's no Pro Bowlers, Germ.
I don't get it. The Pro Bowl's awful.
It doesn't matter. That means you have good players, Germ.
Jay, Terry Bowden is what 918 says. Is that correct? Hey, Jay, Iona
Gales.
Good job. More likely to happen. Cowboys hire Deion or the KC refs help Mahomes. Oh, definitely the KC refs.
Hey,
Jerry won't make a good hire.
You know what I think part of it is? Part of me thinks Jerry doesn't want them to succeed until he leaves. Like after he leaves, he wants them to be better. I don't know why.
Lori, that's because someone has already been on Wikipedia changing Jim Knowles'. You can't go by that. What's up, Corey?
Bro, I'm going insane. Like
I know you are, Corey, on the Discord all day long. Wake up from a nap.
Chill out, bro.
You're like, wake up from a nap. Guys, what's happening? No more Jim Knowles yet? What? Chill out, bro. Chill out.
I got nothing better to do. But I have a good question. What is more likely to happen first? Dallas Cowboys get a head coach or Jim Knowles coming to OU?
Jim Knowles.
Jim Knowles going to OU should happen before Jerry Jones makes a decision.
They really should.
Does that make you feel better?
Kind of, yeah. I have a feeling it's going to get announced tomorrow.
We'll see. I can't count on anything till it happens. I'm a hold your horses guy on this until I see something, but we'll see. I hope it does. Corey.
Hey, great to hear from you, Corey.
Yeah, good to hear from you guys too. I'll text you, German. Maybe we could meet up.
All right. Yeah, sounds good, man. We'll see you later.
Have a good one, Corey. Jim Knowles will probably be announced tomorrow.
Do what?
Hey, see him too. I'm with you, but Jerry won't do it. He won't do it.
Would you trade Dak for Would you trade Dak for Shador right now?
Yes. I would trade Dak for about anybody in the NFL right now.
Dak for Shador.
Yes.
Now you would have to admit there's no way Shador is better than Dak right now. Tell me right now what Dak has won. Go. I'll wait. Oh, he hasn't, Jay.
I don't care if he his contract. You know what, Hunter? Put 2 or 3 more concerts on at the Dallas Cowboys Stadium and you got it covered, okay? Jeez.
Just have Zach Bryan go to the Dallas Stadium. You're good, right?
No, everybody would take Shador over Dak. I bet if you put a poll right now, tell me who else would take Dak. There's probably nobody in here that would take Dak. And Romo was better. Corrections. Romo was better than Dak.
Corrections, right? Dak is the exact same. Hey, Eric. Eric is saying, curious why you guys would want Deion for Dallas, but not OU. I'll say this. To me,
I'll say it. I already know my answer.
I already know what you're going to say, Jay. I'm not, as an X's and O's guy, I'm not sold on Deion Sanders.
But
I'm just not. Even in college, there's a lot, I think, left to be desired in that facet. Now, Jay, I know why you want him, and this would be the only reason I would want him, Jay. I think Deion Sanders would stand up to Jerry Jones.
Yeah, but listen, the thing about him going to OU, he could get players after player. Here's my thing, though, Eric. The one reason I would not want him at OU, I think he wouldn't be there very long. He wants to go to the NFL eventually. I think you would hire Deion, and within a year or two, he's gone to the NFL. So that's my main thing about Deion is I think he's always wanted to be in the NFL. He's always wanted to be at Dallas. I think he wants to be at Dallas right now, or who knows, maybe the Vegas.
But also, let's also be honest. He had arguably two of the best players in the entire country, Shedeur Sanders, Travis Hunter, and they couldn't make the Big 12 championship.
True.
They had some dudes.
Yeah, I want to see him in Dallas just because I think as an NFL guy, I think it'd be great. I think it'd be great theater. It'd be great stuff. I'd love it, but who knows? I'm curious on this. I got to say something, Eric. I got to say something, Eric, real quick. Because if you go back and watch me before the season, the first year Deion was at Colorado, I ripped him and said he's not it. This year I said that going into the season. He proved me wrong a little bit this year. I thought they did better than I thought they would. And I know they have talent with Shedeur and Hunter. Here's what I would see. If he doesn't, this is my thing on Deion. If he doesn't go to the NFL, let me see how good they are next year. When you lose Travis, you lose Shedeur, and he has to go reload. How good
I think that's why he wants out right now. And Jay,
that's what I want to see. But I'm changing my tune a little bit on him. Yeah,
it is interesting about look at all the rules he has. Like there's some weird rules that he has that if they were losing games or it wasn't Deion, people would be ripping him. I mean, if you put those same rules.
Jerm, that's anything, though. If you win, nobody talks about it, Jerm. Why are we bringing this up? Point.
Yeah, I mean,
he's
got some weird ones, though.
Win games.
Jay, if BV went to, or if Saban did it would be one thing. But if you say, hey, if you make a D or an F, I'm not paying your money. You're not getting your NIL. Or if you don't sit in the front of the class, then you don't get paid. Stuff like that.
And Platoon 20 says it's a huge win for Deion. He was able to keep Travis at Colorado. And did you watch the stream with Travis Hunter the other day? He was doing a stream. I saw this on Twitter. He was doing a stream, and somebody was talking about Carson Beck. And he was like, Carson Beck got that much? I didn't get close. I could have got so much money. I should come back and try to win another Heisman. I bet I can make $10 million next year in college. He probably could.
Oh, he would make $10 million, Jay.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Jay.
Where do you think he'll be drafted?
Top 5.
Who do you think he'll go to, though? Like,
I haven't studied who's drafting up high, Jay. I don't get into that until it gets close.
Yeah. 63-63, Arkansas tied up.
Jay, I'm just going to ask you this question, and I'll ask the chat the same thing. Is Jim Knowles the DC by tomorrow night's live?
What do you want me? I mean, you're asking me.
Yes or no, Jay? Is Jim Knowles OU's DC by tomorrow night when we go live?
If he is, he is,
that is the cop-out.
I'm doing a Jeremy answer. What do you want me to say?
Jeremy answer?
Yeah, I'm going to beat around the bush a little bit.
Mine's not a Jeremy answer.
Daniel thinks it'll be Friday.
I've always said Wednesday, Thursday, so I'm going to stick with it. I'm going to say if he's not it tomorrow, he's not it. And I may be wrong on that, but I think he's it tomorrow.
So you're saying either tomorrow or not at all?
I agree with Eric, too. Like, the longer this goes, I don't understand what's happening at that point.
Sooner WX is not sure if we will tomorrow, but he will be the DC at OU. Mess says Monday, Friday, or everybody's, if not, it's not happening. I mean, we're all over the place with this. We'll see.
We always are, Jay. That's what makes it fun. Hey.
It's been fun tonight.
Kudos. Thanks to Chief T-Bird and Jen for the supers tonight. Appreciate Keith calling in. Appreciate everyone and Corey and all those in the chat. We love your opinions and your takes. I'm glad Chuck and I could agree tonight. I'll sleep much better tonight. All things are right. So
it doesn't bother you.
I was kidding, Jay. Appreciate it. Kudos to Hunter. Kudos to Hunter for the intro that he put together. And we will see everyone tomorrow night. Have a terrific Thursday. Is tomorrow the day that there's news? We will see. Catch you next time, Sooner Nation.